Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile 2 discussion. Actually, skip the drink. This is going to be a short video. Yesterday, I did a deep dive into all the things Grinding Gear Games have been doing in the first week, all the things they're planning to work on next. And then today, they put out a couple of posts on the website formerly known as Twitter, in which they discussed their plans for today, their emergency fixes, things they weren't working on yesterday. So firstly, Hotfix 12 has come out already. Now, this one was doing a bunch of minor things and addressed a couple of instance crashes, fun stuff like that you expect. But the most important change here is that the chance to not remove charges on use for Flicker Strike is now hard capped at 75%. Now, the intention here, what they're going for is a situation where it is no longer possible to just completely be able to sustain Flicker Strike absolutely all the time as a one-button build. The problem with this that they said was that players were basically indestructible while they were flicker striking because monsters would target where they were, strike for them, fail to hit. And the real problem when you start seeing builds that are almost immortal is that you start seeing a massive migration over to that build, not necessarily just by normal players, but also by people using bot cheating software. And then that becomes really out of control, starts to completely warp the trade league economy. And at that point, you have real problems where loot just isn't loot anymore because the bot cheaters have been generating so much of it. So in order to prevent that happening, they've chosen the number 75% here. I'm not sure that that's the right choice, but that is the hard cap now for the chance to not remove charges on use for Flicker Strike. Personally, my first thought is that 80 or 85% might have been safe as well and would have left the Flicker Strike feeling in play for people that like it, but also would not have created some absolute monster for bot cheaters. But 75% is a better choice than 100%. After that, they announced that they're going to be reducing some of the juicing that is possible in the temple fairly substantially. That's because there have been new discoveries for not quite snake level from 040 strategies, but things along the same lines. This is going to be an emergency patch in the next few hours. Now, the fact that this is going to be in the next few hours is critical. This means that they're getting it before it's a serious problem. This is going to be one of those things where they had to make a decision. Either leave this in place for the entire league and just accept that this is going to be a repeat of all of the mistakes of 040 and probably expect to see all the people who dislike broken economies just quitting the league at that point. Or alternately, they can fix it. I'm glad to see they're fixing it. Honestly, I was very apprehensive when they decided to bring the temple back at all. I was worried that we were just going to see repeat after repeat of 040, but the fact that Grinding Gear Games are willing to fix some of their mistakes here is something I'm glad to see. Most importantly, this is happening early enough that you're not going to see the runaway inflation that you saw last league, where suddenly a set of tokens to access the Trial Master ended up well over 100 Divine Orbs for a lot of the league. So yeah, it's emergency patch day today, but if you missed my discussion on what Grinding Gear Games were working on before they shifted gears to put out a couple of fires, then I'll put a link up on screen now to the video that I did on the direction that they're planning at the moment. May your Val Orbs have interesting results.